you.
Okay. Well, now I clicked it. So now
Okay.
we are live.
All right, so now we might actually be live this time. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Awesemo.com live before lock show. We'll be talking about the day in MLB DFS along with, I guess, just that. I'm Chris Spags, joined by my good pal in a gray hat today, Josh Engelman. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm good, I guess. I accidentally uploaded the Quick Hits logo to the live before lock stream, and Lukumba Mute just signed with the Clippers.
Oh, interesting. I remember there was one point during basketball season where you were like, Luke Mbamute might get like a $14 million a year deal. And it wasn't just you saying that. There were a couple experts who did. And it's funny how far the bloom went off that rose with his shitty playoff run.
Well, it's not so much that as it was there was no money for anybody to give that to him. Like,
I think he
there
would
were
have
only
gotten
so many teams that could have handed out anything more than a mid-level deal that were functional.
I mean, Ariza got 15 million. Not that Mbamute is Ariza, but I think there would have been somebody out there. He just was so terrible that in the playoffs, and his shoulder was so like I don't know. He just didn't look competent at all, or confident in his shoulder. I would be afraid of him if I were a team, but it's just funny to see how those swings go. Where like, oh yeah, you might make like $40 million, and now he's like, what? He signed for the minimum, probably $5 million. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know what the Clippers could offer him.
Can't be much, but they also paid Avery Bradley out the ass too for some reason. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what the
really.
Clippers had left.
I don't know.
I don't know if they touched their mid-level at all or not.
Well, anyway, there's another time for that.
Yeah.
We are in MLB season. We are also now in NFL season, sort of. So tomorrow, Josh and I will be doing a video, our first preseason NFL preview. I have a gigantic column, which Josh has the pleasure of currently sifting through to prepare for tomorrow, what we're going to talk about. But we have a video and an 8,000-word column coming out on Wednesday, breaking down the offseason moves for every NFL team, their Vegas win totals, MVP odds, all the stuff which might be pertinent for building your season-long and DFS fantasy teams, and just if you want to talk football. So keep an eye out for that. But we do have MLB today, and we have a lot of MLB. So what are we doing? Where are we going at pitcher tonight? We have a bunch of high-priced guys, a chalky Chris Archer coming back from injury, possibly on a pitch count, probably on a pitch count, I guess. Where are you going, Josh?
I'll have a decent amount of Cole over the field. I'll have a decent amount of Kershaw above the field. Let's see where else I'm at right now. I'll be way under on Archer just because of the pitch count. I'll be under on Erod. That's about it for like interesting stuff, I guess. I'm gonna force in a little bit of Barrios and Clevenger just to go against ownership. It is interesting to see that when I did quick hits, Barrios was at 1% on both sites, and now it's 10 on FanDuel and 7 on DK, so that makes me look stupid.
I mean, it's all relative. It's still low enough and lower than Archer and some of the other guys up there.
Well, at 7, like I wanted to have 7 at 1, and now it's not that interesting if I have 7 at 7. Now I'm just telling you what everybody else knows.
True. If you're a premium member of Awesemo.com, by the way, we do have Awesemo's Perfect Pitcher article, which is up today, breaking down the chances of each pitcher finishing at the top of the slate and being fantasy viable. So if you are premium, go check that out. Let's talk about the guy who Alex mentions a lot. He mentions there in a decent pivot. We talked about him briefly before we went on the air. Luis Perdomo, super cheap, cheapest guy on the slate. I think you might share it in common with Alex that you perhaps are a little intrigued by Mr. Perdomo tonight.
Intrigued might not be the right word, but he fits. He's a really good value. So similarly to the way Alex puts out like chances of being a best pitcher, he also has value calculations in there. And in my similar calcs, Luis Perdomo has the best chance of being the highest value pitcher on the slate. That generally happens when someone's salary is as low as his is. So he fits, kind of. It doesn't take much for him to provide value on his salary. So if you hit the bats right and Perdomo doesn't bomb you, then you've probably got better bats plus Cole, Kershaw, Barrios, etc. So yeah, I'm going to have him a little bit, probably in like the 10 to 12% range. A little bit over the field, actually.
Okay. I mean, look, I get it. I have a couple of Perdomos as well. I think with the same approach that you mentioned of like stacking up the bats. I mean, there are some pricey ones for Boston who should be performing well tonight, or at least on paper look like they're performing well based upon the Vegas total. Also, you have the Nationals, pretty high price. The Astros in a pretty good spot, also very high priced. So there is a logic there in going Perdomo. I just think he sucks. I don't know. And I also, we've talked about it enough times on the stream. I like the Dodgers more often than not. And I think I'm more inclined to want to go Dodgers than Perdomo. I will give you, though, there are some strikeouts on the Dodgers side to be had. With that, if they keep the line that's projected right now, you at least will have a shot at getting strikeouts, even though he's probably not the best guy to capitalize on it.
Yeah, like it's not the greatest play in the world, but you can make some concessions when you're taking a pitcher in Petco.
Speaking of not great plays, actually, we have a couple ones. One that somebody mentioned in the chat, which we'll circle back on. But one who I want to talk about, I know you guys talked a little bit about on the morning strategy video, Mr. Danny Duffy in an interesting spot. I think getting a little bit of tout love throughout maybe through the Twitter sphere. Going against the Minnesota team who does strike out a fair amount, and I occasionally like to target against if they have a guy who gets swinging strikes. How do you feel about Danny Duffy? Little more expensive than Perdomo, but equally bad in some ways.
Yeah, if he's 18% right now, I'll have a third of that, and I'll be very happy. I don't want 18% Danny Duffy. Unless this is like the showdown slate, I'm good.
Okay. Hey, I'm a little intrigued by Duffy. He is substantially better versus lefties and righties, and a couple of the scariest bats on the Minnesota side are lefties. So I think that they're, I don't mind Duffy a terrible amount, but you're right, 18%, pretty high for Danny Duffy if that does shake out according to our projections. Who else is? Montas, incredibly highly priced. I think he's not a good pitcher.
Not
but
people on him. No, pass. 100% pass. He has a 1% chance of being a top 2 value on DK and a 2% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. Basically, he needs to step in shit on his way out to the field. He's the worst option on the board by leaps and bounds.
1% ownership, though, projected currently.
Everybody gets a percentage point. It's like participation trophies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't have any Montas at all tonight. Doing, like 20 lineups in the whatever the $6 tournament is on DraftKings. I didn't see the need to go to Montas. I'd rather go to a Chase Anderson type. I don't mind Chase Anderson tonight. I don't mind Archer either. I think there could be enough strikeouts for him either, even if he is only pitching, 75 pitches. I don't know. Do we have a pitch count on him projected?
On who?
On Archer?
75.
75. I mean, that's a narrow breadth for Archer to have to cross for value.
Yeah, I think people are being a little too aggressive there.
It's a good opportunity. I mean, he does get strikeouts. He's got the best K/9 rate on the slate. Obviously, a pretty good Vegas total as well. And Detroit, no great shakes. But I have Archer. I have some Archer. I do think the amount of Archer ownership that we're projecting seems a little heavy. Clevenger. You mentioned Clevenger in brief before. How do you feel about him going against a Cincinnati lineup who's got some power and got some skill?
Clevenger's interesting. We're only projecting 2% ownership. I would like to have at least a few lines with him. He's not a guy that I think should just be like wildly unowned, but it doesn't take much to be over the field on him. And I think that at least getting like a couple, if you're playing, let's say you're playing the mini max, I think that having a couple of Clevenger lines, 4 or 5 or so, is a pretty decent, well, maybe not even 3, is a worthwhile gamble.
Okay, I can live with that. You like Barrios more than Clevenger?
I do. Not by much. It's kind of close, but I have Barrios just slightly higher. So.
I mean, no, it makes sense that you would. I was just curious because I think
I'm treating both of them similarly. It's just I won't be over the field on Barrios anymore because of his projected ownership.
Got it. Makes sense. Anybody else at pitching who we didn't cover who seems worth discussing?
I mean, I'm going to really mash Kershaw, which I think is probably an interesting take. But I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I was feeling Kershaw more before. He hasn't really had it in his last, 4 starts? He's been back, I don't know for how many, but
They've been slowly bringing him back. I'm hoping Petco brings it out of him.
If he is going to get on track, the Padres would be the team to get on track with, especially in that park. And I have him. I'm not crazy about him, I guess. The more I think about it, the more like you kind of sit on it. For that price, I do wonder if maybe it's a night where it's worth going to that middle tier guys and just completely getting off the beaten path of the high price pitchers.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. Archer, like the Archer Erod stuff is going to be really interesting. I don't know what to make of Archer.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the opportunity is there for him, but if he is only 75 pitches, I think he only threw 55 in his one rehab start. It's not great. 75 pitches is not enough. 85, we could talk. I feel like we got to negotiate with Chris Archer.
So it limits his upside, but I don't think it doesn't prevent you from winning. So I think that's sort of the point. He's cheap enough that it doesn't hurt you that he has a 75 point or a 75 pitch max today.
Shark asking about the roof in Miami being open. I guess that is a thing that they're doing today for whatever reason. Does that project or change your projections at all for Urania and Chase Anderson and the hitters involved?
It probably makes me like the Brewers a little bit more. Nothing crazy though.
The Padres lineup is out. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it would probably make me a little more inclined to think of the Brewers, but I'm not crazy about the Brewers tonight. I think Urania has been competent enough lately where I'm not trying to target him too much.
Yeah, reasonable.
Let's see. How about stacks? What are we looking for to stack up the most tonight?
Let me just finish typing here. So stacks. Most of everything that I said this morning is held true. Red Sox still number 1. Pirates still number 2. Twins still number 3. I like the Indians. Well, I mean, these are all the teams that I have more than the field on, or a lot of exposure. Red Sox, Pirates, Twins, Indians, Rangers, Rays, Marlins, and that's probably it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I think the Dodgers are an interesting spot just because I don't think Perdomo's that good. You know, even being in Petco, I think he gives up enough hard contact where it might not matter. I worry about his fly ball rate a little. He seems like he's been pretty good at keeping the ball down. But I think the Dodgers are an interesting spot and at a price that kind of makes sense if you are using them as the main stack and then going with maybe a minor stack of the cheaper guys. I like the Red Sox too. I think they're good. Obviously, pretty expensive. Houston, I think, is interesting because they have a lot of guys in the second part of that lineup that are cheaper. You have, Kyle Tucker, very cheap on FanDuel, not as cheap on DraftKings, but a top prospect who hasn't really done much yet in a couple games up, but seems like he's going to have to do something at some point. I like that bottom half of the Astros stack, actually, a pretty decent amount with Gonzalez, Tucker, White, Fedorowicz. I think they all have interesting kind of spots versus a very bad pitcher in Montas.
Yeah, I basically don't get to the Astros because of pricing. I don't know why. I'm not happy about it because they grade out really well. It's just they're crazy expensive, and right now I'm just not prioritizing them. I would never tell anybody that they're making a bad decision by going with the Astros, though.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is that, obviously the top of the order, we know what they are there. I think, though, them creating more opportunities for the bottom of the order, who also grade out pretty well, have a lot of pretty good contact and power numbers, and get on base pretty well. I don't know. I think that's a spot that people might be missing because people aren't getting to the Astros quite as much today. So they're especially not getting to the back half of the Astros lineup. Let's see. Anything good in chat? People just asking either ors. Peterson or Peraza? We're not doing either ors right now.
No, we got a while yet. There's 2 more lineups to come out.
I know Liriano is bad, but how bad is he? He kind of fits.
We're projecting 9% ownership. I'll be right around there. He's not someone I'm super stoked to have, at least. That's for sure. I prefer the bats for the Rays than I do Liriano.
I would agree with that pretty heavily. I think the righty bats will probably have the best shot at doing damage versus Liriano. Liriano pretty substantially worse versus righties and lefties. 1.65 WHIP versus 1.01 versus lefties. Hard contact 32.4% versus righties versus a little under 19% versus left-handed batters. So I think the Duffy, Robertson, Ramos, Crone, maybe throw in Hechavarria. I think that stack is actually pretty interesting.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, so I actually have Ramos. I think might be like my default catcher guy. I feel like when there isn't a catcher who worked, I think that I ended up with a lot of Ramos. So I'm very in on the Rays. I think Liriano. I think Liriano's playable if you are playing Rays. I think he's a good hedge pitcher to go with. He's got a price that kind of works, but I would much rather have the Rays than Liriano. How about the Pirates? You did feature your boy Colin Moran, who has now soared up the the ownership percentages according to our projections. If you're a premium member of Osmo.com, how do you feel about the Pirates now that they might be a little chalky?
I mean, I'd have preferred it when they were a little less chalky, but Colin Moran now projected for 28% ownership on DraftKings. So, Colin, you're welcome.
That might have all been your tout.
I doubt it. Not enough people watch that video. But, one day we'll get there.
It's probably the Instagram. That's what did it.
Yeah, all the 3 likes that I got, myself, you, and the same person that sounds like a company's name. I just need to find it. Where is it?
Follow our Instagram. Follow the @Osmo_com Instagram. It's not something we promoted because we don't really know what to do with it yet and how to make the most of it. But we do have Josh's quick hits there every day as an image, so you can scroll through really easily. I don't know. I like the Pirates. I agree. Which the chalky Pirate stack is not quite as appealing, but the lefties for the Pirates versus Rodriguez, again, another guy with a really substantially worse split versus lefties. Not that he's good versus righties either, but he doesn't strike anybody out on the left side of the plate. Gives up 53% or almost 53% hard contact. I think that the Dickerson, Polanco, Moran mini stack is a pretty viable one to throw in a bunch of places.
Yeah, I'm mashing the Pirates tonight. Tons of aggregate exposure, lots of Dickerson, Marte, Moran. Cervelli is one of the best plays of the day on FanDuel, only minimum salary. It's a shame you don't need a catcher. I mean, I even have like bits of David Freese and Max Moroff. Like, I'm just all over this. Only guy I don't have a ton of is Polanco on DK. 4,600 he's just like the odd outfielder out for me.
You'd rather play Marte at 4,900 than Polanco?
So, all right. I mean, this is a good way to talk about it, I guess. So, I have Marte projected at 9.4 fantasy points, Polanco at 8.9, which is basically the same sort of value. Like, if you factor in salary, Marte is just a skosh higher, so he comes up a bit more in Fantasy Cruncher than Polanco does, just sort of because of the way the math problem works. That's why I like putting at least a little bit of randomness on when I do it. Otherwise, Polanco would get pinched out a little bit more than he should based on, like, Marte being a better play, 51-49, if that makes sense.
Okay. I get that. I would still rather, again, just a lefty-righty matchup thing. I think that's why I'd probably go Polanco over Marte, but I could see where you're going with that. Fair.
I forget that these guys have hands, to be perfectly honest. I don't ever notice that lefty stuff.
That's what I've been like. I built my sheet out to try to target that more, and it's actually been pretty effective for the most part. Where, like, if a guy's a really noticeable lefty-righty split, I try to target that more than not because, that's an advantage point that a lot of people don't get when you do the superficial kind of, oh, what's his whip, what's his whatever. A lot of people aren't getting the splits.
Yeah, like, it's included in everything I'm doing, so if it comes out and I still get like a bunch of Polanco or Marte or whatever, like, I just play the numbers then. But I do factor it in. It's very, very relevant.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't want it to sound like I was just like, I don't know, who gives a shit about platoon splits?
Let's see, who else do we have to talk about? Garrett Cole, your boy. I heard you talk in the morning video that you're kind of getting off the Garrett Cole train a little bit after a fair amount of middling performances.
Cole train.
in which I just want to point out, though, you did argue for Cole pretty vociferously a couple weeks ago when I was like, I don't know about Cole. And you're like, Cole's so great. I love Cole. Cole's the best pitcher in baseball, and something like that.
I'm sure
that's
I didn't say that.
In that exact tone and diction, you said it. And now you're abandoning him. Somebody pointed out in the chat, I feel like, that an A's stack will somehow get Cole out in the fourth inning. Do you have any love for Cole tonight, or are you maybe considering abandoning ship and going with the athletic stack?
I have a lot of Cole tonight, so go ahead, make the Josh voice again.
Garrett Cole's the best pitcher in baseball, and I'll have a lot of him tonight. Great movement on his fastball.
I feel like your cousin Sal right now, and I'm Simmons.
I think, except that you had more of an Eeyore voice than Simmons gets, I think, for cousin Sal's.
Oh, bother.
oh, nards. Oh, Garrett Cole, shucks. That's my Josh impression. Also a little bit of Ray Romano in it.
Oh.
Are there two Joshes? It's hard to tell. My impressions, they sound just like the real people.
I wish there were two Joshes. Damn, I would totally clone myself. I thought that was Josh talking. All y'all can eat shit.
I'm the chubster, and I like mediocre pitchers. And
now.
So let's talk. So Garrett Cole, you're okay with. I'm all right with Garrett Cole. I think I just wouldn't pay 13-1 for him. I'd probably. Does that make Harry Tate?
Yeah, I'm laughing at Jake. Sorry. I guess that makes you Tate, or cousin Kyle, or nephew Kyle, rather.
Not a bad place to be for Jake Hari, the baseball savant, who's in the chat if you want to, I don't know, pepper him with questions.
Just make dong work, picks?
What was that?
Do you want to do dong picks since Jake's here?
Yeah, sure.
We're already a half hour into this nonsense.
Sure, it's flying by when you start a little late. Who you got?
I'll wait for Jake. Jake, who's your home run pick? You put that in the chat while we both do this. 30 years younger than us. Dude, you're not 3.
I want to go with the same guy I had the other day, just because I feel like when I don't do that, it doesn't pay off. But then when I do that, it also doesn't pay off. So I don't know.
I wish I could take the same guy I had the other day. Who was that guy? What's his name? Aaron Hicks. Yeah, that's it.
You know, I wanted that to bother me more than it did. I was just so divested already from the week being kind of annoying. Where when you sent it, I was like, "Fuck you, man!" Like I just didn't need it. I just didn't need any more. But didn't ruin my night. So take that, Aaron Hicks.
Well, I went the other way with it. It's just a massive erection as soon as I saw that pop up on my phone.
Yeah, Max Muncie did not have a great day either. Fuck it, I'm going against Perdomo again. I'm going with Max Muncie one more time.
Good luck with that.
Fuck you, Perdomo.
Perdomo doesn't give up dongs in Petco. You get that one. You earned it.
Good. Look, I got to know Max Muncie. I want him to know that I support him. He's my guy. I like his whole style. I like the fact his name is Max.
Jake, you son of a bee. Exactly who I was about to go for. I even typed in Indians. I didn't even see it. I was just making sure I wanted to go that direction. Oh, I hate you. Whatever. You know what? I'm going to be a jerk about it. Give me Yonder Alonso.
Oh, all right. I don't like that. I really don't like that move. I like it more when you're not doing it to me. But the two guys on a team move, I feel like always pays off for one person. So congratulations.
Me.
Also, we should point out Josh now has tied me in the unique home run selections for the year. I think we're at either 9-9 or 10-10. I have one more home run as a result of picking one double dong player. But besides that, I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing the home run, the crown of dongs, and it's very upsetting. It hurts. Chris, pick an Indian. I should just pick another Indian and change my pick.
Wait.
I won't.
Hold on. Did Jake not actually take Jose Ramirez?
What?
Is he just saying Jose Ramirez is the GOAT? Why is he saying this is news to me?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks that you're saying he hit a home run?
No, I got it. Because I'm a genius. I don't know where we're off on this, Jake.
I have no idea. But Jake's too busy smoking weed probably and drinking, as Jake Hari likes to do. That's how the baseball savant gets his brain power.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's how I lose my brain power.
Oh, so that wasn't his home run pick. Jake, make your fucking home run pick. You're making this very complicated.
Oh, okay. God damn.
You know who the real dong pick is? Jake. What a dong.
Are the Dodgers and Giants going to put out a lineup anytime soon?
It's always late. It's always they don't like helping out.
Trying to make notes for what I need to do once I paste into Fantasy Cruncher.
Oh, good. Cowboys quarterback aggravated assault charge. That's fun. Not in my offseason preview, but I tell you what, I am a little down on the Cowboys. A little concerned about the boys.
Yeah. Go Cowboys.
Also, you know who I don't mind while somebody asked before, like in the beginning of the chat, outfielders under 3K. Steven Duggar, I don't mind hitting leadoff for the Giants if he's still in there.
He is. Well, I don't know if he is. But he's also not in the FanDuel player pool. But he is in the FanDuel player pool on Fantasy Cruncher. So if you crunch and you have him in there, your lineups are going to get spit back out at you when you try to upload them. So be aware that you have to manually check him off.
Okay. Oh, also, Jake Harry's official home run pick is Jose Ramirez, so we're okay. We're all good.
Thanks for the eggplants, dude.
It all worked out. It all worked out for everyone. Max Muncie is the best home run pick, though. We can all agree there. Let's see. Joe Mauer playing. Blah, blah, blah. Favorite stack, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, or Dodgers?
Pittsburgh. One of those things is not like the other either. So,
are we saying the Dodgers is not like the other?
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. It's the Dodgers for me. But I don't. I actually have the most. I think I have the most Dodgers, Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay. So you are getting all three of my teams, Mike Rader. Great minds think alike. JT Riddle's people's dong pick. Sure, why not JT Riddle?
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle would be a great pro wrestling dong pick. Unfortunately, I don't think he has baseball skills.
He might actually.
He looks like he'd be good at baseball, but I can't say that with any sort of confirmation.
He looks like he would be good at whatever he does. He just seems like to be incredibly athletic.
Also, that is true. Let's see. All right, people just making dong picks. Get your questions in now because I feel like we breezed through the slate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start crunching all my stuff in like 5 minutes, whether or not those lineups come out. It's not a huge deal for me because I'm not really on the Dodgers and Giants. Like, I can make that switch if I need to. Most of my stuff is in that fucking Duggar character. Is he from the Duggars? Is he from 19 and counting or whatever?
I would assume he's probably not. I would think that there's he'd be a little too young for that, or a little too old rather for that. Unfortunately,
dude. Well, what do you mean too old? They have like 20 children. They've probably got one at every age for the past 25 years.
I feel like isn't the oldest like 15 or something? I don't know. I'd actually
no. Some of them are like adults with kids now.
Oh,
I'd say that there are people. I'd say there are Duggars that are our age.
I got to be honest. I'm not a big Duggar guy. One of my
the one's really hot, and then the one's I think molested his sister. So
so he's sexy in his own right.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. How many children are there? Oldest one is 30, and they have 5 kids.
Oh boy, Dave Clark swinging for the fences tonight. 100 entries in the DK swing for the fences. So not a max entry, but it's a pretty penny to be paying. It's a big tournament, by the way, if you guys aren't playing on DK tonight or you go back and forth between sites. DK does have a top 50K grand prize tonight in their tournament, $6 entry fee. So that's what I'm doing. Shoot for the moon. Land amongst the stars. Is there a world where Mike Minor wins you a GPP? What do you think? I feel like you're going to say no.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't mean you should play him, but again, I'll keep bringing this up. Someone won the Minimax with a -5 at pitcher. Anyone can win a GPP at pitcher. Anything at all. You have, as long as you get the hitters right, you're fine.
I agree. I think Mike Minor has shown. I also like the fact, honestly, that Mike Minor had a bad outing last time out. I think that kind of ups his odds of being a little more successful versus a Boston lineup who's not great versus lefties. So I don't mind that. Not a play I'm going to a ton or anything because Mike Minor's stuff is still not that great. He's not really overpowering anybody, but I do think he's okay at that price. And if you want to really fade the Red Sox, that is a way to do it. So
Giants lineup is out, and for whoever asked me, DC fucks Lesnar up real bad.
Okay. Is that because of the lineup, or is that independent of the lineup?
Someone asked about who I thought would win Lesnar Cormier, and it's Cormier, and it's not really close.
I mean, Cormier did dispatch Miocic pretty easily.
And Brock is not very good.
It's also true. Except JD. JD crushes lineups. Yeah, I agree. I think that JD is in a perfectly good spot. I think the Red Sox are in a very good spot. It's just Mike Minor has been more competent than not this year. So, okay. Duggar is hitting leadoff, so there we go. He and his 17 siblings of different ages and different molestations are all in play. So good job, Duggar family.
Can you imagine what Mom Duggar looks like in the downstairs now?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that it's okay to talk about that. I feel like that's like vagina shaming or something.
I mean, he's obviously still going back to the well, so it's not that bad. But
still works.
A lot of children.
A lot of hot dogs down that hallway.
Actually, I probably just one over and over again.
Well, I mean, just in terms of pure volume is what I was trying to go.
Sure. Is today Friday?
Hold on. Is Duggar on FanDuel? Can't find him. He's not on FanDuel. He is a DK only play. But as Josh pointed out a few minutes ago, he is on Fantasy Muncher. So they're just fucking with your heads on there for some reason.
Yep, that's exactly the case.
Let's see. Do you guys like Michael Brantley today? How do you feel about Cleveland in general going against the chalk folk hero Anthony DeSclafani, who people are off today, finally, thank fucking God. But how do you feel about Cleveland and Brantley in particular?
Indians, pretty neutral with their exposure. Brantley, I've got 16% on DK, so I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I think Cleveland looks good. I think the top five in particular looks pretty solid. I think once you get down there, it's sort of diminishing returns. But I do think DeSclafani sucks, as I've said many a time. And now the world is finally on board with people I logically hate, even though I don't know. People just talking MMA now. There's a baseball slate, guys. You can't just talk MMA. Oh, there's other people who yell at us. I don't want to get yelled at by the people who are like, talk MLB, TFS, and then whatever.
I'd rather talk MMA.
Yeah, well, I'd rather talk NFL.
I'd rather talk NBA. So about that Mbah Mute contract for 4.3.
Oh, is it 4.3 million?
Yeah, apparently they split the mid-level between Mbah Mute and somebody else that they signed, but I can't remember.
Oh, Mike Scott, I think.
Yep, you are right.
Yeah, I like that pickup actually. Mike Scott's pretty good. Was one of my preferred wizards.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any Nova love? Any love at all for Ivan Nova? Pretty up and down pitcher. He is at home.
I thought you meant Villanova. I was gonna say, yeah, big fan of that college. Any love for Ivan Nova, however? No, not a ton. I don't mind having him. He's fine. He's not very good. He's just a crapshoot. 5,600. Look, if you want to use Nova or what's that asshole's name? Perdomo, like any of those low salary guys, like just don't have them too much.
That's yeah, I actually agree with that. Nova is not a guy who I would advocate for either. Very bad versus lefties, and a lot of the lefties on Washington are power hitting lefties who are terrifying. So it is not a Nova night for me, and in fact, I would go the other way. Can you talk about how you assign ownership percentage in Fantasy Muncher?
I mean, mostly I just set generics. I pretty much only adjust pitchers.
Okay. That answer works for me. I don't know if it'll work for Rebuchois.
It works for me as well.
Tucker or Gordon for a minimum price outfielder? I would go Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker.
Ooh, we agree. Dangerous. Danger zone.
Danger zone.
I actually almost picked Tucker for my home run pick just to be like weird, but I felt like it wasn't one of those days where I needed to get cute. And then Max Muncy was just staring me right in the face with his big fat gut. Billy Bean would probably love him. General look. But yeah, I like Kyle Tucker. I think he's an interesting spot. I also like that he's a lefty going against Montas. Montas, I think I mentioned before, very, very bad versus lefties. 1.83 whip, 6.65 xFIP, 44% hard contact. So if Kyle Tucker's going to do anything tonight and show the stuff that's got him up to the big leagues and made him a top prospect, I would say that tonight is a night for him. Gino's signing up with Osmo because Moto Blinders percentage owned has been way off lately. I agree. They don't care as much about it as we do, but we are updating it constantly every single day. Our people behind the scenes are projecting ownerships and stuff. And go sign up, become a premium member of Osmo.com. You can check all the ownership numbers that we talk about every single show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any good questions? Crone, Robertson, Hetchy. Sure. I agree. Those are all righties. I'm all on board with them as part of the Rays stack.
Yeah, big fan of the Rays.
Crone, my fave. I do feel like Crone jumps out so much where I'm kind of wondering if maybe you should play a little Bowers. I don't love the lefty versus lefty in that particular matchup, but Bowers does also mash lefties pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't have any Bowers. I don't expect to really have much of anything. Maybe a line. Kiermaier, Duffy, Robertson, and then Ramos are getting the most of my ownership.
I didn't go Kiermaier much, but I think though, because like I just didn't love the lefty matchup, but I think that I don't know. I think Bowers has enough of a lefty split that looks beneficial. He's got crazy power versus lefties for a lefty, so I think. Just a thought if we want to be contrarian on an already contrarian stack. Bellinger or
contrarian. Razor 8% aggregate. That's way above the field.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Bellinger or Muncie?
Either.
You cock. Why do you hate the Dodgers so much?
I mean, Bellinger for me, I guess. I probably won't get Muncie.
I like both of them. Oh, great. That's my fire alarm, guy. I might go outside for this because the fire alarm is never actually indicative of a fire, but when it goes on, it doesn't end.
That was interesting.
I live in an apartment where there's a ton of people who Airbnb stuff, and sometimes they just set off the fire alarm for no fucking reason. And including at 11:30 at night sometimes.
Just sit it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't think there's a fire, but if that hits again, I'm just going to go outside because it's an annoying noise. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, it's Muncie for me, but both Muncie and Bellinger look good. Dozier or Escobar in any of your lineups? I do have a lineup with both of them.
I probably have a lineup with them. I probably have 15 lineups with them. I mean, Dozier's significantly more owned. So if you're trying to make an ownership play, it's Escobar, but Dozier is by far the better play, like in a vacuum.
Apparently that was a test of our system. So I am not on fire, and I do not have to leave currently, apparently.
I'm on fire when it comes to picking home runs. Boom!
You are, and that's upsetting, and I wish you were actually on fire as a result.
Fair.
Danny Duffy tonight, or is that too cute? I think Danny Duffy's okay in small amounts, but I think not a play that anybody's going to be crazy about.
Too cute. We're projecting 18% ownership. He's chalk.
Well, not chalk, but chalkish.
I mean, he's the 5th most ownership out of 18 pitchers. He's 18% owned. That's as chalky as it gets for someone in his salary.
Light chalk. He's like a sprinkle of chalk.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be actually 18%. I think he's going to be a little lower than that.
I don't want to know.
Would you go for cheaper bats for Barrios and Anderson, or more expensive guys for Anderson and Suarez if you were doing a single entry tonight?
Run that by me again.
Would you go for cheaper bats with Barrios and Anderson, or more expensive guys with Anderson and Suarez for a single entry tonight?
The Anderson and Suarez one.
I agree. I don't love Suarez though. I think Suarez actually might get rocked tonight. I like the Cubs a little bit.
There you go. Oh god damn, are you serious? Did Chu really get scratched?
Chu hasn't been in the lineups all day, has he?
I don't know. Somebody said Chu scratched.
No, he's been out for a while because I haven't had him in my lineups for the whole afternoon.
Okay, good. So I didn't want to have to make the changes, you know?
That's fair. Is Garrett Cole the go-to in FanDuel?
I don't know. I mean, the go-to? He's the chalkiest pitcher. He probably has the best, like, overall outlook. I don't see him as any sort of necessity. I think any other pit, like, if it's him or the field, 75% of the time it's the field. I'd happily go to Kershaw at 10-5 or Barrios at 10-1.
All right, I can live with that answer. Can
you imagine if you
could? If I just got really mad and started yelling at you.
Now I'm gonna start a fire.
This is bullshit. 5-3 or 4-4 preference. If you get 5-3, 5-3 is better. 4-4 is fine, but
yeah, I prefer 5-3.
5-3-1, 5-3, 5-2-1 rather would be the ideals. One lineup on FanDuel. What is the play at catcher? You're doing a FanDuel lineup.
Francisco Cervelli.
You know, I think maybe Ramos, but I don't mind Cervelli.
Cervelli's minimum salary on FanDuel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
FanDuel's weird, man.
Yeah. So if the answer is Cervelli and it's not close because of that, like FanDuel catcher, which is weird position. Yeah, minimum $2,000. Insane.
I know. People play like I would say pretty close to an even split on the site people play. But to me, FanDuel feels like the Shelbyville to DraftKings, like Springfield sometimes. It's like, why is Cervelli the minimum? Like, that doesn't make sense.
There's a doings a transpiring. That's about as stupid as that lemon-shaped rock over there. I loved it. I gotta watch the Lemon Tree episode.
Cervelli used to wear.
He's got a taste for meat now.
You stepped on my reference for your reference, you cock.
I'm sorry. It's by far my favorite episode of Simpsons. So
I like I was saying I like the onion on the belt part. That's my favorite part of the episode. On FanDuel,
have a nice glass of this turnip juice. Oh man, half this chat's probably like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Check out the Moran pick I just sent. Yins, no, I don't even know where you would have sent it, my friend. Do you like Hendricks?
I'm not from Pittsburgh, and I don't think Chris is either. So neither of us are Yins.
No, and in fact, I hate that. I hate the Yins thing. I hate the Philly people calling sprinkles Jimmys and shit. I hate John. I hate every sort of Pennsylvania-based euphemism. I'm a New Yorker. I despise. I don't really despise. I actually don't care. But I think all the little like jokey wordplay things, ugh, gross.
I got into John like as a child.
I fucking hate it.
I'm not a fan either.
I like Wawa though. Wawa's pretty dope.
Can we have a conversation? People don't seem to understand what these words mean. So, and I don't mean what we're talking about. Chu and Gallo aren't scratched. They're just not in the lineup. There's a difference between scratched and just not playing. Scratched means they were in and now they're not.
Correct.
When you say Chu and Gallo are scratched, I have a mini panic attack thinking I need to fix this, when in all actuality, that's not what happened.
No, they have not been in the lineup at any point in the day.
Change the words.
What do you think about Kyle Hendricks? Somebody asked about him a couple times. Hendricks, obviously not a fantastic pitcher, but generally a pretty decent low floor or a high floor, low ceiling pitcher. How do you feel about him tonight?
I have him. I'm matching the field right now, so nothing interesting. He doesn't really grade out well for us, so I'm just kind of chilling with the pack.
Okay. Let's see. So we aren't going to talk about Hendricks. Fuck you, Kevin McKay. We'll just fucking talk about Hendricks. Don't send a bitchy message as we're talking about the guy. I know you're on a delay.
I was going to say, hey, just for the record, he probably didn't hear that by the time we did it.
I know, but it's the timing of it. Look, guys, it's been a really busy couple weeks here, and I'm getting real stressed. So when you pull that shit, Kevin McKay, I'm going to shake my fist at you. Muncie and Crawford or Kipnis and Xander Bogaerts and Cash?
Kipnis and Xander. I'm not playing Max Muncie in any scenario whatsoever today, so I'm definitely not taking him in cash.
Why do you hate Max Muncie so much?
Because he's playing above his head, and now his salary is $50-something $100.
How is he playing above his head?
I have him graded out to be a significantly worse baseball player than what he has done in 2018 so far.
Okay.
It's called regression to the mean.
Okay. I think I would disagree rather. I think that Muncie is a fine player who is clearly fucking cock. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure. I feel like there are girls in my apartment building who do porn from their apartments too. They can't enjoy this either. I'm not the only one who works here.
I'm sure they're not worried about it. I'm sure that's the fire. Some lit candle up a bum or something. By the way, I muted you as soon as I heard the first beep, so I think they only got one of them.
Okay, good. Yeah, the beeps are.
Or at least I think I did. You can tell me if I didn't.
The beeps cut through me. I know. The other day at 11:30, it was going off for 20 minutes, and I knew it wasn't a real fire. I knew it was just somebody drunk who did something stupid or whatever, and it was the worst. It was the worst night. I also finished 2 lineups. Muncie might be the GOAT, Jake Hari says. I agree, Jake Hari. Great choice. Muncie has been a very good hitter this year. The Dodgers in general, very undervalued because of East Coast biased dumbasses like Josh Engelman.
We're really going to do this? Okay. Gotta learn you guys some more shit here. Here we go. I gotta get my lineups in. Jesus. You guys are killing me today.
I would rather you educate us on why Max Muncie is so bad.
I'm going to. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Calculate. It's not that he's bad. He's just dramatically overpriced right now. So, here's what we're going to say. When he came up in 2015, 112 plate appearances, hit 206, slugged 392. Following season, 133 plate appearances, hit 186, slugged 257. Did not play in all of 2017, and now in 248 plate appearances in 2018, which is essentially the total that he had before. Now he's hitting 270, 407, 610. So, for his career, 230, 340, 460. That's not the stat line of a guy that's $5,100 on DraftKings. If he continues to be 270, 407, 610, that's great, but that's not how projections work. Should be dramatically regressed. My projections are going to match him almost close to his career totals, and I think that's the best way to be on him right now. Are you going to miss a hot streak? Yeah, but it's the same reason that I played Goldschmidt, and now Goldschmidt's good. Got to look at more than just 67 games.
I just think he has such prodigious power, and that's sort of where he jumps out to me. I mean, his isolated power is generally the highest on every slate that we have, and his on-base numbers are also pretty good. His batting average on balls in play does indicate that there's maybe some regression due, but I don't know. I think Jock Peterson, I think there's more of a case to make. He's maybe not as great of a player, but Muncie just grades out so well, making a ton of hard contact. On base 405, his isolated power is 342, 171 WRC plus, so he's creating a lot of runs. Whatever. I just think the grades work for me with Muncie, and as Jake, the baseball savant Hari, points out, he's a much better player now. And as Aaron D points out, he overcame the rookie wall. I buy both of those guys, and not Josh.
Yeah, you know who raked a lot in 60 games? Jeff Francoeur, and he was fucking terrible. But people wanted to jerk him off over 60 games, so I'll happily be on the right side of history for this one. He's 27. It's not like he's 19. Dude's been around. He's just not very good. He's on a heater, which is fine. It's always good to be on a heater, but that doesn't make me want to play you for $5,100.
Okay. Max Muncie is in the home run derby, and that's obviously a great indicator of skill as well. Though I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if he regressed pretty hard after the home run derby, because that does fuck with guys' swings, and he does seem like a guy who would get fucked with.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick Max Muncie down the line and get a home run for it, just to pass you in this shit.
I don't think. Well, we would have to. I mean, I don't pick him. I might pick him every day.
Go ahead. You might not ever get another home run at the rate he hits.
I think he's a great player. I like Max Muncy, and I also think the Dodger Stadium thing. It's a tough hitter park, but great crowds. It's probably really well done by them. A lot of narratives you could spin for Max Muncy to explain it.
Let's say this: he could end up being good, but he doesn't have the sample size that backs up a $5,100 salary.
Okay, I gotta look. I mean, the salary's pretty big. Salary is pretty big, so I'll give you that. I agree, he's not a great value in that perspective, given that he was like 4,000 a couple weeks ago. But dude does rake, so I like guys who rake. That's just me. Josh just likes little numbers. Oh, I'm Josh. I like numbers. I don't like guys actually hitting the ball. You can no sell my impression all you want, but the people love it.
Oh, is that the fire alarm again? Oh, let me mute you quick.
Josh,
remember, I control this shit. I can make Chris Baggs disappear on the screen if I want to. Whoop! There goes Chris Baggs, gone. Back.
You could. I'm actually just now seeing your face when you didn't like the impression. It's.
I love it. I love it so much. There it is.
Work and who trying to talk on a live stream. Whereas Chris Baggs in the DK home run count, I don't play as much as these guys, but I'm at 23 out of 30. I looked when I saw their stream this morning.
Did you hear me talking shit in the stream this morning too?
I did. That might be why you're getting a little extra today. Maybe. Hard to say.
I gotta slip those in from time to time to see if you're watching.
I didn't like your whole if you want to you pick a home run. I was picking home runs when you were in diapers a couple months ago. I presume you're just wearing diapers for some sort of fetish reasons.
Yeah, I don't like standing up to take a shit, so now I don't have to get out of my office chair. I'm gonna be just like Dax Shepard in Idiocracy. It'll be like this big Barca-lounger with a toilet built into it. Go like Peyton.
You guys have 4 minutes left, so get your shit in. If you have either or questions, drop them in the chat. And hopefully
I'm not going to answer them. Let's just be clear here.
I got to put in one more lineup too, which I think I'm just going to pull. I'm just going to pull some Max Muncy in. Call it a day.
Might as well. You must not like money all that much. I like money.
Astros and Brewers or a Nats Pirates stack on FanDuel?
Nats Pirates.
I would also go Nats Pirates. I'm actually not crazy about the Brewers tonight. So.
I am as an ownership fade on DK.
Starling Marte or Jock Peterson?
Give me a second to upload these. I will answer that. Well, it's not going to matter. Probably Marte.
Dodgers lineup out. If this is Max Muncy in the Dodgers lineup, I certainly hope so.
I'd sit him.
That's why you're not a manager in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
Amongst other reasons.
That is the literal only reason you're not a manager in baseball. They are like, this guy, why doesn't he believe in Max Muncy? Classic kind of baseball guy. A little fat, great home run power, not fast.
Peterson, Muncy, Turner, Bellinger, Kemp, Grandal, Taylor. Oh, I got to get Kike out for this Tolles character.
Oh, wow. I don't know who that is.
Oh, I have a lot of Dodgers on FanDuel. Holy hell.
Damn right.
But no Kike. That's perfect. That worked out really well.
Andrew Tolles. Who are you, Andrew Tolles?
Who am I? Andrew Tolles, motherfucker. I think that's how the song goes.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
It might be a little off. I don't know.
Hendricks or Suarez for a DK GPP? That would be Hendricks for me. Oh, okay. Okay, Hendricks for me. I'm not buying this Suarez resurgence. I don't think he's good. I learned the hard way that I don't think he's good. I'm not in on Suarez. He's my Max Muncie.
I mean, in a GPP, that's a different question. Yeah, our boss seemed to like it, so.
Sure. Hey. Well, what does he know? There's millions of dollars won playing daily fantasy sports.
What a simple.
No onion on his belt. I'll tell you that much.
Spot players. And
shit, we gotta get this in. 2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes left. Get your shit in. I feel like I probably should have had more Tiger stacks tonight. Actually, do you have any Tiger stacks, given that you were like, oh yeah, stack against a high volatility pitcher who's going to be chalky?
I don't know. Probably not.
Huh. All right.
I don't know the answer to that right now. I'm just trying to get this lineup in quickly.
No. I'm Josh. I need to get my lineup in quickly.
I'm swapping out Kike Hernandez, okay? Everything else is done. Do I have a lot of Tigers stacks? Not really. I wish I did. I don't. I ran out of time.
All right, well, whatever. There's one more Dodgers lineup. All right, we're good. Paul Blackburn of the night is probably, it's not Perdomo for me. It'd probably be Danny Duffy.
I don't participate in the Paul Blackburn one. I don't know. I don't ever know what it means.
It's a bad pitcher who might have a good night, I think, is what we've retconned it into.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know how to pick something like that.
That's why, when you got to learn how to pan for gold, like I do.
I don't know. Does bad mean not owned or just bad?
Just bad, like a guy who like for me, the criteria would be like, oh, he's got a bad whip, he's got a bad, maybe not a great swinging strike rate, maybe not a great Vegas total. I feel like that would be how I would define it.
Mike Minor.
Okay, live with that. Mike Minor is a historical Paul Blackburn success story.
I love that there's an actual conversation in the chat of, Jake, what's the name of your site? Jake asks, Baseball Savant. Yes, thank you. Like, as if it's a real conversation.
Well, I mean, for Jake, it's so far in the past when he created it. It's just kind of who he is. It's like, oh, yeah, who was your first grade teacher? I don't know. Like, whatever. It's not that big of a deal for Jake. He just is the Baseball Savant now.
Mrs. Bonner, by the way.
I don't recall I feel like it was Miss Benino maybe in first grade, but I don't know. It gets a little hazy there. It's a little hazy in that K through second grade time.
Second grade, I know because it was my friend's mom, so that's one I won't ever forget.
Oh, your friend Stifler?
Yeah.
All right, we should be locked now. So hopefully you got your lineups in. I guess if you have any sort of, maybe Josh will look at ownership. Do you want to look at ownership? Do you care?
Yeah, we could look at ownership. Jeremiah Johnson, no one likes the Blair Witch Project, so.
Oh shit! I forgot to plug the stupid social media. If you want to apply to be a social media manager for Osmo.com, a couple of you sent in emails and stuff, but just email me a sort of indicator of your interest, preferably showing how good of a writer and stuff you are. Because if you don't put together sentences well, I think it's probably going to be a non-starter. So it is a serious job. It is an actual salary job that we're going to be hiring for in the coming weeks or month or whatever. So please email me, chris@osmo.com, if you're looking to get a break into the DFS industry and also have an active Twitter full of content and things that you are tweeting every day and stuff like that. I'll get back to everybody probably in a few weeks, but go submit your shit.
Colin Moran, 14%, well, 14.75 in the Minimax. So that's, half of what we were projecting. Matt Adams, 14. Bryce Harper, 13. Trey Turner, 13. Let's see where I have those guys. That's a little bit higher than what we were projecting, but I'm way under the field there then. So it looks like the Nats were a little bit more popular than we were expecting.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the Pirates stack.
Nova, 4%. Jeffrey Rodriguez, 3%.
Yeah, the Pirates in the $6 Moran is 15.5, Marte is 7%, Polanco's 5%, Dickerson's a little under 11%, and Cervelli is about 12%. So that is the Pirate stack on the $6 one.
Yeah, we won't have any. That's the only game that starts at 7:05. The rest of them are 7:10. So.
Oh, Ivan Nova already got a strikeout. Big Ivan Nova day coming. As we said, Ivan Nova gonna be the steal of the night.
I've got what did I say his ownership was in the Minimax? 4. I've got 7. So go Nova.
I don't have any Nova. I am not in support of Nova tonight.
I need Kershaw big time tonight. If he goes well, I'll be going real well.
I have enough Kershaw, but I didn't go. I just I started going him, and I was like, oh wait, he's not pitching that well. And then this is what always happens when I make lineups. Probably a good reason to not make lineups by hand. But I always start and I'm like, oh, this guy looks great, and I'm like, actually, I don't know if I like him that much, and then I just end up with it because we do a live stream.
Fair. I know that feeling. I would have liked to make a couple more tweaks to my stuff, but just ran out of time.
Well, I would have liked to have a couple more tweaks. One more for the road.
Yeah, great.
Chris, are you only considering writing resumes, or is natural talent recognized for Osmo? If you can't put together a cogent resume and also have natural talent, it's probably not a fit. I'm not. This is not me being mean. Just you got to be able to write. You got to be able to conduct yourself professionally. All of those things are important when you email me. So, but otherwise, email Chris@osmo.com if you want to be our social media community manager person.
Just because it's a fun job doesn't mean it's not a job.
Yeah, no, I appreciate everybody who emailed in, but some of the emails left a little to be desired in terms of sentence structure and stuff. And we are writers and things too.
It's also not important if you ever won a GPP.
Oh yeah, probably not the most important thing in the world, but nobody dropped that one on me, thankfully. But yeah, anyway, whatever. We'll talk more about that. I should do it when we actually have a lot of viewers in the stream instead of just at the end, but maybe next time. Anything else you want to talk about, or have we done enough?
I don't have anything else I need to add unless anybody has something pressing.
Yeah. Kevin Zoe's 80% Barrios. That's a big news item, sure.
Like 4 out of 5?
Yeah, that's a lot of Barrios. That is a lot of Barrios.
Well, I was thinking about what it'd be in like the mini max, and I was gonna say like you probably made a mistake.
All right, yeah, fuck it. That's enough for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Me and Jake Hari will be back. Josh and Jake will be back in the morning. Jake will have the night shift going up later. We also have the daily game plan emails going out. Apparently, if you were a free member, you might not have been getting them, but you will get them starting tomorrow. So go sign up now for a free or premium account, and we will get your email in the database and hit you with it whenever it's ready, probably around 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. If you're not a premium member of Osmo.com, go sign up because all the things that we reference there every single day are available for you to review. Ownership projections, Osmo's rankings straight from his own lineups that he's building, articles by Osmo every day, plus more stuff coming up. So go sign up for that whole thing now. And subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like all the videos. And any parting words, Joshua?
Yeah, when Yonder Alonso goes yard today, make sure to tag Chris in it and let him know how big of a failure he is for not leading the contest any longer.
But make sure to do it in the Josh voice. He's a failure.
Yes, it's been great today, guys. We'll talk to you later. See you Wednesday.
See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your night.
Bye.